Welcome everyone to the second blitz game between Vishy Anand and Garry Kasparov. They come to the board and shake hands. Vishy is trailing the match by 1 point here. Garry won the third blitz game. Now it's time for the fourth one here. We had two rapid games today that ended in a draw, then a win for Garry, and now this fourth one opens with e4, e6, d4 and d5. The knight comes out, pawn takes, knight takes e4, and Vishy gets the bishop to b5 attacking the rook. The knight blocks it, knight c6 attacking here, and Garry brings his knight out immediately, making a big mistake. Now you can take on e2 and take on d4. I think Garry simply missed that he had to defend this pawn. He played it too quickly, and look at him shaking his head. He's like, what the hell did I do? Why did I play so quickly? And Vishy Anand just taking his time here. And he takes it. Bishop takes, queen takes, and knight takes d4, attacking the queen. The queen goes to c4, and this is a huge mistake. b5 is incoming. With b5, it's game over. And you know why? Because now queen c3 is met with knight e2 fork, and queen b4 is met with a5. And if you move your queen away to d3, there is a check to the king and you lose the knight. It's a full piece blunder. Look at Garry there. He's shaking his head. Vishy adjusts himself in the chair. He knows he's winning. Garry, after scoring a win, getting the lead in the match, has blundered. Huge blunder. And in just 8 moves, Vishy Anand is going to win a piece now. And as Garry takes his time, this is over. It's absolutely over. He started this move with 5 minutes 18 seconds, took close to a minute. Queen g5 instantly played by Anand. f4, he takes it. Queen takes c5. Bishop f2, trying to get back the piece. The knight on d4 is pinned. And Vishy now simply castles. Garry castles as well, putting even more pressure on d4, but the piece can be defended by g6. He does it. Pawn to g6, and you can't put more pressure on the knight except pawn to c3, but that is pinned here. He plays c3 and Vishy instantly moves knight e7. Although, truth be told, b4 was much better because now we are attacking here, and after something like king b1, takes, queen b5, it's game over. You're simply a piece up, an entire piece up. But he went knight e7 and he did so quickly. Garry goes g4. I like this move. Taking control of the f5 square, opening up the bishop. Now a move like b4 could also be met with a queen check along with the bishop here, which could become very dangerous. And Vishy trying to now figure out what he must do. He's still winning. He has many good moves here. Rook d6 is one of them. He goes knight d5, and that's a very pragmatic decision by Vishy. He's attacking the pawn on f4. He's basically giving back the piece, and Garry is a bit surprised there. It's like, okay, basically he had written himself off after what happened in the opening, but maybe there is a small glimmer of hope. Bishop takes, queen takes, rook takes, and Vishy goes knight e3. So what Anand is saying is, I don't need the extra piece. A very practical decision. I'm a pawn up. I just need easy play. So now the rook is hanging and the pawn is also hanging on g4. Look at Garry there. Man, he hates his position. Absolutely hates it. Tries to focus himself. And he takes on d8. Check. Rook takes d8, and even before Vishy presses the clock, he goes rook g1. He's like, okay, now I defend the pawn. For Anand, maybe a very good idea is b4 takes rook d4, attacking the f4 pawn, or even rook d6 with the idea of c6. He goes c5, and very quickly bishop f3 played to defend the pawn on g4. Is there some hope for Garry here? Knight to c4 by Vishy. Not so sure about this move. Bishop goes to e2. He comes back knight d6, and look at there. Kasparov is like, that doesn't seem like a great idea. Bishop back to e2, and now he brings rook to g3 up. Pawn to f5 played by black, and already there's some pressure now, like rook h3 attacks the h7 pawn, the e6 pawn is a bit weakened. Rook h3 played, and now very important to go rook h8, but he goes rook d7, and the problem is now you can't get king d7. Rook e5 played, attacking the pawn. c4 instantly moved by Vishy, but b5 pawn is weak. Things have shifted. Garry is back in the game. Vishy blitzed out his moves, but it's not enough. Look at Vishy's time on the clock. He has plenty of time, but it's kind of botched up his advantage. And you can see Garry being completely focused there. Now he knows this is his chance. He doesn't want to let it go. This would mean that he ends day one with a win and 3 draws if he manages to hold this. If Vishy wins, he equalizes the score. That's how important this game is. He goes bishop f3. Now Anand plays his king to d7. Brings his king up. And Garry attacks the pawn on b5. Maybe a6 to just protect it could be an idea, but he takes it. Rook a5. Notice that at this moment black is 2 pawns up. F takes g4. Very surprised there, Vishy. But there was other moves, like king e8 was another move, trying to move the king away. But fg4, I think what Vishy is doing is he's just trying to kind of make natural moves. Check, king e8, check to the king, king f7, and now bg4 played. So Garry has recovered one pawn and is now attacking the second pawn here on a4. The bishop on g4 is attacked. And you can see here Vishy is a bit nervous. Bishop d1, a4 pawn is hanging now. He goes king f6. He's coming up here. But then, Garry simply stops it. He's like, I don't want the king to come any further down. h4, and he takes the pawn. The material has evened out now. Insane. It's all even. Completely equal. Vishy pushes the pawn to e5. Pawn takes pawn. Rook takes pawn. Rook takes. King takes. And the king defends the knight on d6. Pawn to b3 played. And he pushes g5. Takes. Knight takes on c4. Bishop c6 played. But now the black pawn's moving ahead. King d1. Well, king e2, and it's actually a draw here because and offers a draw. Garry wants a draw, but there's a rule like you can't play for 60 moves, can't draw before 60 moves. It's just 41st move, so they continue playing. Check, takes c4, he takes, knight takes c4, bishop c4, and a draw is agreed here. Whoa, unbelievable how things changed here, and what a defensive effort by Garry Kasparov. A big miss for Vishy Anand.